So the video and images of these objects, these works of art being destroyed, in general terms here, what's being lost?
What we're seeing is a video of the destruction of objects in the museum in Mosul. It's the second largest museum in Iraq, and it's the main repository for all of the great archaeological sites in northern Iraq. So far as we can identify, the sculptures that are being destroyed come from Hatra, which was an Arab kingdom that flourished between about the 2nd century BC and the 2nd century AD, and was a crucial religious and trading point, really kind of a part of the sort of the whole sequence that later is known as the Silk Road.
Thousands of years worth of civilization being crushed right now, literally. You describe the museum in Mosul as one of the most important in the Middle East. Why?
Because it's this area of Mesopotamia between the Tigris and the Euphrates River was one of the areas in which we see the emergence of the first city kingdoms. It's an area of great learning, of civilization, huge cities with big temple complexes, trade around the region, and it's in a way it's the cradle of civilization. So the destruction of artifacts from this region is an affront both to the local community. It's also, this is a world heritage.
There are people being slaughtered every day by ISIS, including today in new horrific ways. We're not saying that destroying art is worse than killing human people here, because that's an awful, awful tragedy. But the destruction of works of art is a tragedy in itself. Why is it so important?
Yeah, exactly. I think in comparison to the immediate horror of people being murdered and raped and tortured, this is a secondary issue. But looking beyond the immediate outrage of the murders, it's much more than the destruction of works of art. I think what ISIL is doing here is actually trying to eradicate, it's cultural cleansing. These objects reflect a time of cultural diversity, multiple languages, multiple religions, and in creating a kind of, in destroying everything, they're destroying that memory.
And we've seen it before. We saw it with the Taliban in Afghanistan, blowing up the Bamiyan Buddhas, those beautiful giant structures that were so important in that religion too.
Well, exactly, and there's an inscription over the door of the Campbell Museum which says, "A nation stays alive when its culture stays alive." And I think that's what ISIL is attacking here.
Very, very deliberately.
Yep.
In fact, now, there is something interesting here. They're trying to sell some of these objects too, I understand, on the black market. They're destroying some, but they're also trying to get some money, and many of these are very, very valuable.
Yeah, no, this is the great hypocrisy. While this is not fully documented, we may not know this, in full detail for months, if not years. All of the evidence is that, yes, there's a huge trade going on in the black market. So the objects that we're seeing in Mosul being destroyed are essentially the objects that are too big to move, too big to sell.
Tom Campbell, thanks so much for being with us.
A pleasure, thank you.